What's up, guys? It's your boy AG. Today I'm going to show you guys how I shred not just my BRF jars, which I really don't run hardly at all anymore, but when I do, I use a certain mutation strand, let's just say. It can be quite the enigma to grow, I guess you could put it that way. So yeah, let's get into it. One thing with blob or slower colonizing and fruiting strands is you want to make sure that your hold on, man, let me turn Tech 9 down a little bit. It's too loud. Okay, so you want to make sure that your substrate is just a little bit above field capacity, which mine usually is. I'm getting down towards the end of my tub here. So it can usually be a little more moist on that lower part of it. That's just kind of, where the fucking goddamn these gloves, where the water will settle. Obviously the weight, it will be a little more moist at the bottom of your substrate. I use a big tub for my substrate, so it sinks to the bottom a little bit. No big deal. One thing I use with my VRF jars is like a big, huge knife. Of course, it's been cleaned and all that good shit, but I'm just going to take an alcohol wipe here and really wipe it down good, the blade and everything. So you just kind of do one of these deals. With the road dogs in the Midwest side, who's to blame? Okay. Do you know Arch Dog's hot like a dragon? Okay. So let's let that dry just a little bit. I'm just going to use, I got 4 quart jars, so I'm just going to make 4 shoe boxes here and put them on my top shelf and let them marinate for a month or 2 or whatever, 3. I got some Omni that I freaking, let's see here, I shredded it on 12/11, so it's 3 months in, right? 2 months in. Sorry. And it's just now on its first little flush here, so, well, not little, but it's actually coming in real nice. Okay. So I just put, the ends of your bag, long ways. It just makes it easier when you're spreading your substrate at the bottom. Now, if you guys have already seen my how to shred a brown rice flour jar to bulk, then you already kind of got to step up here because it's basically the same gist. We're just gonna spray. I got a bottle with a little mosquito bits that I use when I spray all my tubs. Gets a tablespoon of mosquito bits in it, and since I have fought off all the fungus gnats, and since they've been gone, I just use this as I spray my tubs, and then I use distilled water inside of the bottle itself with the mosquito bits, and I haven't had one fungus gnat at all, period. So yeah, got rid of them fuckers. Okay. Grab some handfuls here of substrate. So let's check our field capacity. Hopefully you can see this. So Hold on, let me squeeze it with that. So, see, I'm just giving it a good squeeze. So it's still a good little bit above field capacity, but we're still gonna give it just a little schwitz, as my Jewish people would say. I'm schwitzing over here. Okay. And we're just covering the bottom with about an inch and 3/4, maybe 2 inches or so. Something like that. Okay, that's good. Okay. So basically, I just freaking start cutting this thing up almost like you would a pineapple. If you were to grow a pineapple inside of a jar, that's kind of how I tackle it. So I just kind of go once in half, and then just keep halving the whole cake, and then it just plops right out, and it's super, super easy. You don't have to worry about a contamination as long as you sanitize. You're using a clean knife and it's sanitized. At this point, the mycelium is pretty damn strong, and it's pretty the chances of you getting a contamination at this point from this action here is very slim. Very slim. And again, you also want to do the smell test. Any jar or bag you open, you always want to make sure you smell that good sweet mushroom smell. If you don't, well, if it's that other sweet bacteria type smell, it can kind of have a sweet aroma to it as well too. Almost like rotting fruit, I guess, would be the, no, not rotting fruit. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, so I do that, and then just boom, little pieces should plop out here. I'll just put a couple of, there we go. Once you get 1 or 2 out, you're good to go. Then you can break them up with your hands. Okay. So I'm just gonna take one piece at a time and just break it up into little bitty pieces here, because then we're gonna mix it into the bottom part of our substrate before we apply a little casing layer over it. Okay. And just as little as pieces as you can get them is cool. You do not need to burst these cakes, which means you do not need to soak them in water. Like if you were going to either fruit out of the jar or in a shotgun fruiting chamber, you do not need to soak these at all. What I did is, these were fully colonized about a week and a half ago. And then I let them go, another week to 10 days. And that just really ensures that the whole cake inside and out, well, mostly inside. See, if you see right there, that's a perfect example of how the mycelium can kind of spread and go through the brown rice flour cake. So see that? That's what you want right there, guys. You want that shit. See, like, and the little bit of bluing, that's okay. That's actually just a bruising from the mycelium at this stage of life. So it's totally cool. Now, if you see green, then you want to freaking toss this motherfucker quickly. Okay. Let's get this broken up good, almost there. It's a little time consuming, but the better you break them up, the better you're gonna spread, which means the more even of a canopy you'll have and better flush, everything, harvest, Okay, that's pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is spread it evenly inside of here. And then what I'm going to do is just take my hands and just kind of just break it or just mix it up into the substrate a little bit. You just want to kind of grab it and pull and grab and pull. Just a little player pinch. This is what we used to call it back in the day. Hook it up with a player pinch. Okay, so you got your shit spread in. Now I'm only using 1 quart per shoebox here. Usually I would use like a quart or a half gallon or 2 quarts per shoebox, but I figure fuck it, you know, I'm going for I got these shoe boxes. I figure, you know, I might as well just go for you know, 4 or 5 of them I got just to fill them up and set them on the top shelf for a month and forget about them. Check them every, you know, week or two. Spray them when they need. If you see it's dry on the insides of your tub, go ahead and give it a spray. That's cool, but you do not want to fan it. You just want to take your lid off and as a gentle of motion as you possibly can. That way you're not really inducing fruiting conditions. Now it's not gonna, you know, start fruiting immediately or whatever. That mycelium needs time to do what it needs to do to get to the stage where it starts to fruit. But you can especially with other strands, if you induce fruiting right off the rip, like I used to do a long time ago. Actually, just a year and a half ago, I had some strands that I did that a lot with, just because I would get like a ½ ounce of dried fruits before the first flush would even hit. But that first flush wasn't as good as letting the whole tub fully colonize and then start to fruit. So I also was doing that for another reason, is because I was moving around a lot and needed to fill orders for certain things and needed fruits for that. So, you know, I just started fruiting them shit ASAP. Let me get some new gloves. I always use separate gloves for each thing. So you don't ever want to just like try to wash or wipe off gloves after using them when you're mixing brown rice flour up like that. You'll have mycelium in places in the gloves that you might miss, and you take a handful of substrate out of your tub, and then you look, you know, a few days later, and the damn thing started colonizing on you. So if you got real strong growing mycelium, yeah, I don't recommend it. So you only want to grab enough substrate here just to give it a good cover, so you're not seeing anything, any brown rice flour particles underneath. And just spread her evenly. These little shoe boxes, about 2 small little handfuls is all you really need. Okay, so now we're just gonna give it a little spray. Let me trim this first. Now when I trim my tubs, on each end, I like to come up and down to make like little handles to be able to grab my blocks out of them, in case, like, let's say I need this tub for something and I want to continue this block. Well, I got these 2 little handles. I can pick it right up, plop it right in a little shotgun fruiting chamber, and continue a 3rd and 4th, maybe 5th flush, and then get another strand popping in my shoebox here. So having those little handles makes it super convenient just to maneuver whatever you need. You never know when you might need to grab that fucker and run away with it. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Also, too, what I like to do is you're gonna have little wrinkles in your bag, so just kind of, you don't want to pull it up a ton, but just pull it just so it's tight. So that way you know you don't have a ton of slack. You know, when you go to pull it up, if you ever do need to.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop D or Double G, but I somehow, some way, keep coming up with funky ass shit like every single day.
So, now you got these two little lips. In fact, let me trim that one up a little bit. So what you wanna do? Shit, I got a pocket full of rubbers and my homeboys do too. So turn off the lights and close the door. But for what? Okay, that's perfect. So now, go ahead and come back in and take your size, because it's going to come off a little bit as you trim. That's fine. That way, you'll cut down on any type of side pin or side fruit popping out there shy. I can even add some more substrate to this, which I'm going to. I also leave about 1/4 inch of room, a little lip of bag liner. So when I go to flush the second or third time, whatever strain you're growing, you have a little, that extra room for a casing layer over top. So as I'm gonna spray the sides down, I take the little lips of the bag and pull them out, because what the water will do is act as a little suction cup and keep them right up against the sides of your shoebox there. You don't need to tape them or anything like that. Just plain old water does the trick. See what I'm saying? And as I'm spraying, see, I'm just going to give the top of the block here just enough to where I see a little bit of shine to the top of it, and then boom, that's done. Good to go. Put a lid on it and forget about it. About 2.5 months, you should hopefully see fruits. 2.5, 3 months, give or take. Alright guys, don't forget to check out my shops, and I also got my Patreon page kicking that you will see a lot more in-depth videos with stuff I cannot show at this on this venue that I'm on now. So I just want to thank you guys for all your love and support. The amount of love that's been coming in lately has been just ridiculous, and you guys are amazing, dude. So keep up what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna keep up what I'm gonna do, and together we'll freaking keep that shit up and can really spread this shit around and really